Imagine that every time you got old, or sick, or badly hurt, your body simply hit a reset button. Not healing, not slowing down the damage. A full reset, all the way back to childhood, ready to grow up and do it all over again. For you, that is pure fantasy. For this animal, it is just what happens when things go wrong. This is Turritopsis dohrnii, the immortal jellyfish, a creature smaller than your fingernail and almost completely transparent. And it can do something no other animal we know of can do reliably. When life threatens to end it, it ages backwards. By the end of this video, you will understand exactly how it pulls this off, why scientists are obsessed with it, and the uncomfortable reason it still cannot make us immortal. The story starts, like a lot of great science, with a mistake. In the 1980s, a student studying jellyfish in the Mediterranean kept some Turritopsis in a tank and, by his own account, forgot about them, or at least let conditions get rough. By every rule of biology, the adults should have died. Instead, when he looked again, the tank was full of juveniles. The adults had not reproduced in the normal way. They had gone backwards. It took years for biologists to accept what was happening, because it broke one of the most basic assumptions in all of zoology, that for complex animals, development runs in one direction only. You are born, you grow up, you age, you die. This jellyfish had quietly torn that rule in half. To understand the trick, you have to understand the animal. A jellyfish has two main stages of life. First, the polyp, a tiny tube anchored to a surface, almost like an underwater plant. From the polyp, it buds off into the medusa, the free-swimming, bell-shaped jellyfish we all picture. Normally, that arrow only points one way. Polyp grows up into medusa, medusa reproduces, medusa dies. Turritopsis dohrnii found a way to make the arrow point backwards. A stressed adult medusa can collapse, settle onto the seafloor, and turn itself back into a polyp, the baby stage, and then grow up all over again. Same individual, same genes, a second childhood, on demand. Here is the part that should not be possible. When most animals are built, cells specialize. A muscle cell becomes a muscle cell forever. A nerve cell stays a nerve cell. That specialization is supposed to be a one-way door. Turritopsis walks straight back through it. Under stress, its mature cells undergo a process called transdifferentiation. A muscle cell can literally rewrite its own identity and become a nerve cell or a cell of the polyp. The animal effectively de-differentiates its whole body, scrambles the cells back to an earlier, younger, more flexible state, and reassembles them into the juvenile form. It is not regrowing a lost part like a salamander. It is resetting the age of the entire organism. Now, the word immortal is doing a lot of heavy lifting, and this is where almost everyone gets it wrong. Biologically immortal does not mean unkillable. It means the animal has no fixed lifespan imposed by aging. Left undisturbed, in theory, it could cycle forever, never dying of old age. But in the real ocean, Turritopsis dies constantly. It gets eaten by fish and bigger jellyfish. It gets infected. It gets crushed, stranded, starved past the point of return. Most individuals never get to use their reset button even once. So this is not a creature that lives forever. It is a creature that, uniquely, does not have to die of getting old. So why do labs from Italy to Japan keep these jellyfish alive, sometimes resetting them dozens of times on purpose? Because aging in humans is, at its core, a problem of cells. Our cells accumulate damage, lose the ability to divide cleanly, and slip into a worn-out state. Turritopsis seems to wipe that slate clean. If we could understand the exact molecular switches it throws, the genes that allow a cell to safely travel back in time without spiraling into chaos, it could reshape how we think about age-related disease, tissue repair, even cancer. Because cancer, in a dark way, is also cells that have forgotten the rules. This jellyfish breaks the rules on purpose and survives. Which brings us to the uncomfortable part. Why don't our bodies just do this? The answer is that the same reset that makes a jellyfish immortal is, in a large animal like us, incredibly dangerous. A cell that can rewrite its own identity and refuse to stay specialized is, to your body, almost the definition of a tumor. We have spent hundreds of millions of years of evolution building locks and alarms specifically to stop our cells from doing what this jellyfish does effortlessly. Turritopsis is tiny, simple, and has no organs to keep stable, so it can afford the chaos of a full reset. We can't. Our immortality, if we ever find it, will not come from copying the jellyfish. It will come from understanding why we had to give that power up. So the immortal jellyfish did not defeat death by being tough or fast or by living for 1,000 years. It defeated it by quietly starting over again and again, while the rest of us only get one run. The strangest thing is that the off switch it flips so casually, the one that lets a cell become young again, is still sitting inside your own cells right now. Locked, guarded, for very good reasons. And somewhere in a lab tonight, a scientist is watching a fingernail-sized animal turn back into a baby, trying to figure out how to pick that lock without killing us in the process. If a jellyfish can reverse its own age, wait until you see the animal that can freeze solid all winter, no heartbeat, no breathing, and simply walk away in spring.